Assalamualaikum and good morning. My name is Amy Lazatul Shira binti Muhammad Zainuri and my student ID is 0110061005680001 and I'm currently enrolled in OUMH1303 for the English for Oral Communication course. Today, we often hear about the importance of biodiversity in Malaysia, but do we really know how to observe the wildlife sharing with our environment? So, my speech today is titled about Tracks in Mud, Identifying Malaysian Wildlife. So, the purpose of this speech is to instruct you on how to identify common Malaysian wildlife by examining their tracks and signs. As we navigate the rapid urbanization in our cities, understanding this sign is not just for biologists because it is a fundamental skills for anyone who is interested in Malaysian ecology. So, by the end of this speech, you will be able to distinguish between the prints of a civet, a leopard cat, and the white boar, turning a simple walk in the park into a wildlife investigation. So, first of all, let us understand what we are looking for. In the world of wildlife, tracks are like fingerprints. They are unique signature of an animal presence. In Malaysia, where biodiversity is high but visibility is very low, tracks are often the only evidence that an animal was here. So, to identify wildlife, we must look at the three main components. First, the size of the prints. Second, the shape of the toes and claws. Third, the gait or pattern of the movement. For example, a print that is round with distinct claws might suggest a carnivore, while a print a wider flatter shape might indicate a herbivore. So, this is the foundational knowledge you need before heading into the field. Now, let's apply this to three common Malaysian wildlife. First, the common palm civet. If you are walking in the forest reserve or even suburban garden in Kuala Lumpur, you might find a small cat-like print. The civet size is small, roughly 3 to 4 centimeters. The key identifiers is the absence of claws in the prints, as they are retractable in the front but often don't show, and the distinct toe pegs. If you see track like this in a muddy patch, you know a civet was likely foraging for insect or fruit nearby. Second, the leopard cat. The leopard. This is the rarer find but crucial for conservation. The leopard tracks is significantly larger. It is characterized by an asymmetrical shape with a distinct heel and foretoes. Unlike the civet, the leopard claws may leave fins marked if the ground is soft. Identifying this is vital because it signals the presence of an apex predators, which changes how we behave in that area. Third, the white boar. The white boar is a common sight in urbanizing areas. Their tracks are like their track but are more elongated and have a distinct V shape. If you see the white prints a clear V shape is likely a boar. This is important because boar can cause significant damage to crops and can be aggressive if disturbed by it. So, by learning these three distinct patterns, you can tell a story of the forest without ever seeing an animal. But if you want to see this animal in their natural habitat, think of Taman Negara or Taman Ulu Modern Forest Reserve. So, in this ancient forest, the common palm civet leaves small delicate prints at night while foraging nearby. The leopard cat, or in some areas, the larger leopard, will silently leaving distinct asymmetrical prints. If you were to visit Taman Negara to see this animal in their natural habitat, the dry season from March to May offers the best visibility. During these months, the white boar and civet are more likely to be spotted near the riverbanks at dawn, while the enslaved leopard cat is more active at night. This is why timing is just as important as knowing what to look for. So, why does this matter? Instructing ourselves on these tracks empower us to be better observers. When you see a track, you are not just looking at mud. you are reading the history of the forest. However, identification is not just academic. It has real-world implications for safety conservation. If you identify a leopard track, you must exercise extreme caution and avoid the area or move higher ground. If you find more tracks, you know to be careful of crops and potential conflicts. This knowledge helps us to coexist. It transforms us to be passive observers to active participants in preserving our natural heritage. It allows us to report sighting accurately to conservation bodies, helping researchers track endangered species like the Malaysian tiger, which is often confused with the leopard, but with a much larger, more complex tracks. So, for the conclusion, identifying wildlife track is a skill that bridges the gap between the human and the nature. By understanding the differences between the civet, the leopard, and the whiteboard, you gain a new perspective on the environment around you. So, to summarize my speech today, look at the three main components. First, the size, check the shape, and observe the pattern. Next time you are in a Malaysian forest or even local park, look down. The mud has a story to tell you, and now you have the knowledge to read it. Thank you.